We're going to do some detective work today. There's a couple of weird looking patches on the green here behind me. So we're going to talk about it, discuss what's going on. Hopefully this will help you guys in your situations as well. And we're going to fix it too. So let's get into it. Yo mate, what up? Welcome to another lawn tip vid. So I haven't done anything to this green for about a week now. I haven't even been down here for about 4 to 5 days. So I haven't assessed the situation of how this area is looking. So we're going to talk about this today. I've come down before just to clean off some of the duck poopies. But it is looking a little bit weird. Have a look at this. Not sure if you guys can see this, but look at all the differences in the colour throughout here. It is looking weird. There's lots of like yellowy spots on the leaf, as we can see in areas like this. Look at that. Look at all that yellow in there. What is going on with it? Very prominent just here around the hole. You can see it's like real blotchy, weird looking looks. A little bit like disease. Now, we've even got the same problem on the ryegrass surrounds at the top here. And I used to find this area actually look like this, even when it was warmer. So I'm gonna explain to you guys what it is. I know what it is. See if any guys you can guess down in the comments before I say it, but yeah, it's looking nasty. So it's all throughout the green, it's on parts of the surrounds as well. Now we are up to date with our fungicide applications. We have had a lot of frosts recently, so it could be frost damage, could be a couple of other things, but I'll tell you what it is. This lawn is uber hungry, so this is a good sign that your lawn needs a feed. Now, generally this time of year it's not too prevalent with an established lawn because it's starting to go to sleep a little bit and to, you know, stop needing a little bit of nitrogen. But remember, this green drops the nutrients through here quite quickly, and I haven't been working on the green, haven't put much product out over the last 2 weeks. I did get my lawn tips mix out last week, but that did not have much nitrogen in it. So believe it or not, all that it's lacking is a little bit of nitrogen. Now in saying that, some of the yellow tips in the areas, not the light green patches, are actually frost damage. So if you're seeing light yellow leaves after you've had some frosts, really good chance your lawn has just got some frost burn on the tips of it. So something to look out for this time of year. If you actually look at the Kikuyu up on the hill there, and I didn't spray this either the other day with that glyphosate, up on the hill just there, you can see it's gone really yellow. It's going dormant because it's winter time here and we're getting more frost this season than we did last year because we haven't had as much rain. So the less rain you have, you tend to get quite a lot more frost. Easy fix for the green, believe it or not. All we have to do is get some fertiliser out. Now this time of year, preferably, you want to get a liquid fertiliser out, something like my Pronto fertiliser that I've got on my website. There's quite a lot higher in nitrogen, which has got 24% nitrogen. Really good if you're seeing signs like this time of year, because as I spoke about in the video last week, because our soil temps are cold, our roots aren't going to take up fertilisers as well that are put out in granular form, whereas liquids can be taken up by the foliage still quite a lot more because the leaf's a bit warmer on top and because it's more active and it's growing as well. Now if your lawn's brown and dormant, not worth doing anything like this because you're not going to bring it back with a little bit of nitrogen. But if you've got some cool season grass or some warm season grass up in Queensland or somewhere that's a little bit warmer, even over in WA, a little bit of nitrogen this time of year that's liquid form is not a bad idea. Now don't go nuts with it, just a little bit of push. If you're losing a little bit of colour due to it being hungry, even a little bit of frost tip burn, you can push a bit of that out with a little bit of nitrogen as well, but you've just got to be careful. You don't overdo it because we can have issues with disease pressure after this as well, so you just got to be aware. Now I haven't mowed the green in over a week now because I've been a little bit under the weather. Yep, exactly. But since it's had some time to grow, these plugs are starting to fill in, which is nice. So we've still got growth going around the place. We've actually got, is that ryegrass? That's a ryegrass, isn't it? Must have blown in from some seed. But you can see that the bent is starting to really move sideways now. I actually had these butted up against each other here, the plugs, so they have crept in at least a centimetre on each side, which is not bad for this time of year. And over here, we're starting to get it even more creeping. Look how much smaller that one is there. Woo! It's good. So I know I did mention putting out a liquid fertiliser is going to be best this time of year. I'm actually going to put down some granular fertiliser on this surface here because I still need a lot of nutrients from the granulars I'm using to help build up the organics in this area here. So we're going to put out some more of that carbon green today at full rate because we've actually missed a couple of applications. So we're going to deliver a little bit of nitrogen like that, but it's mostly because of the carbon and the other products in there as well. But I'm also going to put out some Pronto a little bit later in the week, just to push a little bit of leaf growth on this area and get rid of these funny looking patches. So by next week we should see a difference on the green here. Now I also need to get out an application of some Heritage Max that I'm due for, which has got some azoxystrobin in it, just a preventative for this time of year so we don't get any disease pressure on here. I'm actually due for it this week, so that's to stop anything like Fusarium, mostly Fusarium in this area here, but any other pressure with winter diseases on top of that as well. So that's something else I need to get out later on this week as well. This patch here as well, we've been pushing that urea. It is definitely starting to creep sideways as well. Actually some new shoots coming in through here as well, as we can see, and they've just got a little bit knocked by the frost. And here, shooting some plants off to the side as well. So it's definitely moving, which is nice. A little bit cheeky ryegrass in there, which is coming from, well, not over the edges, but they'll die out soon enough. Even a little bit of ryegrass here actually. But a little bit of nitrogen here and there. Still working this time of year when we've got winter temps now, like we're getting below 0 at night. So good to see it's still working. Good to see this bent grass is still moving along. Love it. Anyway, let's get a mowing. Let's get a single cut done. Then we're gonna get some fertilizer out as well. So now that this area is mowed, you cannot see it as much. There's definitely still some hungry parts here and there, a little bit of frost burn on some of the tips, but man, it is filled in. Like, there's basically no bare spots apart from those edges that we're trying to fix. Like, it is tight as, which is nice. We'll take a plug out next week and look at our thatch layer and also look at our roots. But we're gonna put our fertilizer out now, put that product out, and we should see it green up. It'll take a little bit longer because it's colder. So I'd say in about a week's time, it should really start to shine again. We'll start putting out some more liquid iron. I'm gonna try to keep this as green as I can throughout the winter and growing as much as I can as well. Let's chuck these sprinklers on now. Bam. There we go. So believe it or not, it's not a problem to water this time of year. Yeah, lawn actually needs water this time of year, believe it or not, especially with the frost hitting it. It can tend to dry it out and stress it quite a bit. Now, if your lawn's dormant and completely brown, do not worry about watering it. But give your lawn a water once, maybe every 2 weeks, just to make sure that it's getting sufficient water, especially if we've got a dry winter, because you'll find it'll start to get more damage from frost if you're not putting the water on it either. Anyway, watering that fertilizer in now, which is good. We should have some more growth and green up by next week to get this thing kicking along for the rest of winter. So 4 days ago, I sprayed that glyphosate on this area just here, where that fairway is going to be, and over the back section as well. Now the grassy weeds are starting to go a little bit yellow on the tips. We can see just here, they're starting to die off a little bit by a little bit. Just knocking it. All our stuff like our plantain and our Patterson's curse and all that kind of stuff has stood up. So we've got a good kill on that. It's all stood up and looking quite sick. Definitely taking longer this time of year though. If this was in summer, we would have seen a lot of yellow across this whole area, but I reckon we have to give it at least another week from today, which today is Wednesday, until this thing really starts to die off. But we'll get into it with some rocks tomorrow, and you guys will see that on Saturday. I'll start ripping out some of these rocks in this area. Massive rock pit just here. I just need to clear some of this out. Rock pit down there where those weeds are, and then just rocks scattered out through the place. So So, lesson from today is always make sure that you, when assessing a problem with your lawn, you think about the environment and the impact it has on it, how much fertiliser you've given it over the last little while, if it's maybe lacking some nutrients, how much water you've been giving it. There's so many things you need to put into place before you start thinking about it being a fungus or some insect damage or something. Always think about your cultural practices and also what you're putting down on the area and how it's actually impacting your lawn. Once you've gotten used to seeing what a hungry lawn looks like, it's pretty easy to spot because it's in irregular patterns, and generally you'll find it where maybe water runs off a little bit more or where you've got a sand green as well. But anyway, thanks guys so much for watching, appreciate yous. I'll see you guys when we start digging some rocks out.